Robitussin, the name of that one, by Ashtray. You guessed it, singing about their love for the sticky sweet, always delicious. If you're having a tough time with money and you need that little kick, you can always go and buy some Robitussin. A little Ashtray right here on the Tony Jones Show. Before that, we heard from Fall and Bounce Psycho, the name of that track, paying our attention to some local music and our lovely co-host of the Coalition. You are tuned into the Tony Jones Show online at TonyJones.org, on Facebook, Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on Twitter at Tony Jones NRI. Thank you all. Twitter continues here. Thank you all for checking in on Twitter. Don't forget to check out RIFreeRadio.org. In studio with me, DJ Psycho Eddie, and P.O. Taxpayer of the aforementioned Coalition Radio.us. P.O., let's talk about said Coalition Radio. What are people in store for when they hear this fine program?
Well, the first point is we are an outrage porn-free zone, and we are a politically orientated nuclear talk show on another station. Am I allowed to say the station?
A crappy station.
Am I allowed to say the station?
Yeah, we don't care.
Okay, AM 790 on Sunday evenings. When are we on? 6 to 7 o'clock. It's myself, Tony Jones, Chris Havoc. Here's the point.
Now, Tony Jones, the only one using their real name. Once again, the only one with a sack behind the microphone.
The point being that there are people in the neighborhood, and the aforementioned restraining orders would prevent me. So, given the state-of-the-art RISP solution, they'd be right on top of me if I actually identified myself. But I talk about us being a politically orientated talk show. We focus, though, on issues of social justice, but from a libertarian bent. So we have on politicians who have got some aforementioned sack. We have politicians from both sides of the aisle. We loathe Republicans. We detest liberal Democrats, but we embrace different aspects of the Green Party movement, independent third-party candidates, and, of course, the Libertarian Party. I talk about being outrage porn-free. We will not tolerate discussions of Christmas trees, gun raffles, or any of this other silliness that clouds the environment, takes all the oxygen out of the room, so we end up not discussing the real issues that affect everyday Rhode Islanders. So we do not suffer foolishness, and we will not tolerate the weak and pathetic that occupy our state government. We have weekly guests on, and the focus is on the guest. I am the official chief narcissist of the show. I am the most self-absorbed person alive. But what we try to do is subsume that, through the various medication, so that the guest actually has an opportunity over about a 40 or 45-minute period to actually discuss issues and actually not just evolve or evoke sound bites, but actually talk about the substance underlying the issues, so that we can have we have a conversation with politicians, leaders, social activists, in a format that really doesn't exist in Rhode Island. We are the only show that has libertarians on. We are the only show that has Green Party members on. The only show that has true progressives on. Nothing else like it exists in Rhode Island.
And by the way, you can probably tell by P.O.'s description that this is a semi-serious program. However, I just cannot control myself. So if you haven't listened to the Coalition and you're afraid it's going to be a little bit dry, you should still tune in, because we have a good time with the subject matter. And so last week, I was having some problems at home. I couldn't make it up to the Coalition because I was sleeping on the couch, indeed. I'm back in the big bed now, just so everybody knows. However, everybody told me that the show was just god-awful without me.
Well, you bring the lighter touch.
I take that as a compliment.
Well, we laugh at ourselves as well as our guests and with our guests.
And our guests.
And the particular folks who troll, you talk about being a master troll. I would say that most politicians in the state, in fact, are trolls. So we have a lot of fun with it, but at the same time, we have the opportunity to really get into the issues. And, a couple of the areas that we focus on, we're rabidly anti-death penalty. We're violently anti-death penalty, if that's possible.
And we're violently pro-pot.
All right, exactly. And we are, evolving, particularly over the last few weeks, into a show focusing on what I call Monaco on Mineral Spring.
Or as I like to call it, Monaco on meth.
That is the new Joe, Abdamea Paolino, who, through the miracle of sperm, has managed to inherit a large business enterprise, and that makes him think he's qualified to screw up the rest of the state. The one pearl that's left in this state is, of course, the city of Newport, the city by the sea. And he is hell-bent, because of all the success being enjoyed by casinos nationwide and all the wonderful side effects it's had on the populace surrounding it, to impose a casino despite multiple referendums by the people in Newport who say they don't want it. But Joe knows better, because he did such a hell of a job as mayor.
And by the way, where I break a little bit on that very subject is that personally, and I partake myself, I'm not anti-gambling. What I am is anti-state-run gambling. And it's almost like what we see down south, where some of these municipalities are reliant on a private prison that's come to town. Their whole revenue stream is throwing people in jail. This whole revenue stream is on the backs of poor people, getting them to waste their money. Now, if you want to gamble, you want to pull some slots, I have no problem with that. You'll see me there. I'll be pulling the slots. I'll be at the all-you-can-eat Kentucky Fried Chicken. But when it's state-run, it's an unholy alliance.
Right, they're using our tax dollars to try and coerce people into losing money, thinly veiled as entertainment, when in fact it's nothing more than a tax. And when you look at everything this state is touching, by the way, you mentioned private prisons. Ironic, isn't it, that the fine folks in CF, which, by the way, this was going to be the saving grace for CF the last time. Like Glenn Close arising out of the bathtub, every 2 or 3 years, some idiot politician suffering from an incredible case of legislative bulimia decides that he's going to invoke the silver bullet, that he's got the salvation. Was it 5 or 10 years ago the jail in CF was going to save CF?
Now, what if we put slot machines inside the jails?
Well, they're making.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Now, given the fact that the politician's in them, in fact, the mayor of the town, didn't he spend some time there? But that went, as they say in the vernacular, tits up on Friday. So we can't listen. We lose money on gambling in jails. How is that possible? What? Listen, at a moment like this, I want to invoke one of my personal philosophers in life. As Bugs Bunny would say, what a bunch of maroons. So that's the coalition in a nutshell. A fun group of fun-loving people who use this as an opportunity on a weekly basis to rail and invoke insults against some of Rhode Island's leading salons.
So on that note, for PO Taxpayer, for anybody who listens to the coalition, we're going to hear a little anti-flag right now. And this song is called You Can Kill the Protester, but You Can't Kill the Protest. You're tuned in to The Tony Jones Show.
Get Product 52. There's too many rats in this cage of a world, and the women know their place. They sit home and write letters, then they visit once a year, when they both just sit there and stare. See how we are. Gotta keep bars in between us. See how we are. We only sing about it once in every 20 years. See how we are. Oh, see how we are. Now there are 7 kinds of coke, 500 kinds of cigarettes. This freedom of choice in the USA drives everybody crazy. Down in Acapulco, well, they don't